Welcome to Crochet ADHD. I'm your host, Jackie. If this is your first time visiting, I consider you a one-hit wonder, but I am so glad that you are here. If you are a repeat offender, a member of the GlamFam, try those golden grams and have a golden day. I swear, sometimes my mind is a complete arid desert and I can't think of anything. At other times, I have a barrage of jingles that are racing to the exit to get to my mouth. And sometimes they all kind of come out at one time. Anyway, it is the May LP. Everything that was done, everything that I started on, and all that good jazz for the month of May. I will start this by telling you May was an incredibly long year. A lot happened in May that have nothing to do with crochet, which affected my crochet. I'm just going to say that. Looks like my lighting is a little strange. Yeah. Let me see if I can fix it. Before I do that, let's go ahead and start with finished objects. My first finished object is being modeled by Miss Hetty. If it looks familiar to you, there's a reason. This is the Sagebrush Tank by Grace for the Frills, a free pattern available on Ravelry on her website, and there's also a tutorial on YouTube, and I will try to get Editing Jackie to remember to put the links to all of those in the description box below. I did make this earlier this year and then frogged it because it just wasn't right. I know I said on camera that
if I make it again,
which I knew I was going to, that
I would make it the right way and make the front piece and the back piece separate and then seam them together.
I know I said that. I remember saying that as I was working on the front panel of the new improved version here. And still I made it in one piece. I like this version better. It fits better. I have not blocked it yet, so I'm hoping that once I do that, it will loosen up a little. It is kind of cropped. Let's talk about cropped as a word, shall we? The pattern actually has a cropped version and a full version, or what is referred to as, I think, a full version. If that's not the exact terminology, Editing Jackie will, correct me here because she loves to make me look like a fool. Cropped. In my head, I used to think cropped, and again, my image is always going to be like the 1980s. Remember when girls were taking like regular t-shirts, they were cutting them off to where they were just below Janet and Rita. So that's what I think of when I think of a crop top. Sometimes a crop top can actually be a little bit longer than the Janet and Rita line. And I guess sometimes it's basically any space between Janet and Rita and the belly button. The full-size version of this, it hits just below the belly button. So I guess technically it's not cropped. But I also think that it has a whole lot to do with the size of the model that's wearing said top. I don't know why I went off on that little rant, but I know that once I block it, it will come down a little bit longer and be at a more comfortable level. I don't want it to be like, I don't want it like really long, like cover my butt length or anything like that. I want it to sit on my waist because it's supposed to be for hot weather, and it's just not what I'm about. That is my first finished object. That is the only crochet finished object I have for you today. However, I do have 2 more finished objects, just a different craft. I stepped back into the soap studio after a 5-year hiatus, and I made 2 batches of soap. I missed it all. I missed everything surrounding my soap making life. I know that I didn't know how much I missed it until I went back to it. I want to start to make soap again. Nowhere near the level I was doing before for several reasons. The biggest reason is I no longer have my soap baristas to help. That they were a great help. They have been little salespeople since they were, let's see, how old were they? They were like when they were 9 and 10. We would go to farmers markets and, just different kinds of things. And they did a really good job. They always helped me set up. They were great salespeople. They worked in a shop with me. They were they were priceless. And now they are, grown, married, and gone. I don't even know how this I'm going to stop talking here. My 2 finished objects are monkey farts. It's literally like everything a monkey eats. Coconut, banana, like berries, tropical. It smells so good. I got to tell you a small little story. When I first made this, normally I will take a fragrance, and when I smell it, whatever it reminds me of is how I will name the soap. For example, I had one that was, it's a mixture of spearmint and eucalyptus, and it just reminded me of Nirvana, and I called it Smells Like Teen Spearmint. Even though that's not like the name of the fragrance, that's the name of the soap. I hope that makes sense. When it came to monkey farts, I didn't change the name, but I was really reluctant because I thought people would find it offensive. It turned out to be the second best selling soap I had. I remember a man and his son, they drove up, because this was like an outside event. Not very many people was outside of a business. They drove up, parked right in front of my booth, got out, didn't go to any other vendor. They didn't look at any other soap. Said,
"Hello, hey, how are you doing? We need 5 bars of monkey farts."
Paid, and got back in their car and left. I still remember that, and it's been at least 10 years. No, hold on. Oh my God, that was 15 years ago. Holy cow. Holy cow. All right. So when I say that the girls were 9 and 10, no, they were 5 and 6. And the second one is Saturday morning cartoons. I know, and I meant to comment about it in the soap making video. I know I made the comment about monkey farts, but because the fragrance has vanilla, it turns brown naturally. So that's why this looks like this. It does not affect the ability to work at all. It still works great as soap. If you're planning to get either of these two, you might not want to use the Saturday morning cartoons for your crochet projects because it does have color added to it, to make it look like Fruit Loops. Just keep that in mind. But, if you just wanted like monkey farts, that one's fine because no color was added. This, okay, I know I keep saying it smells like the cereal. It smells like the cereal in milk. So like, after you've eaten the frosted flakes, after you've eaten the Fruity Pebbles or the Fruit Loops, that milk afterward, that milk, that milk. I remember telling a story during a live about what my brother and I used to do with our cereal milk after we finished with it. And we were notorious for eating all of the cereal in the house because that's what kids do. And my dad would always complain because we would drink all the milk. So we got the wise idea that in order to be able to eat the cereal that we wanted, but also to make my dad happy and that there would still be milk, we would eat the cereal and then pour the milk back into the container. Genius thinking, right? You would think that this man would be like,
oh, thank you so much, children.
If it hadn't been for that little Fruity Pebble floating in the milk, I think we would have gotten away with it. Smells so good. I am so proud of these. So proud. Keep an eye out because I will make an announcement on my community page for sure. It'll be on my Instagram, and I might make a short or a reel or something like that so that you can see it here also on YouTube if this is your platform of choice. Next up, stuff I got. The first stuff I got actually came at some other time. I don't remember how long ago, but I'm showing you now, so whatever. This. Huh? Now, when I ordered it, it didn't look like this, so when it arrived, I thought something was seriously wrong. Upon closer inspection, it's a measuring tape. It's black on black on black. So it's a measuring tape. It does have both inches and centimeters, but what I like about it is it allows you to measure by yourself. For example, I'm going to measure my wrist, but I'm not going to read the number out loud because it ain't that kind of party. You just put, so you put this, it's called a thingamabobber for weighing. If I find the correct term, I will have editing Jackie inform you. So you put it on your body part to be measured, and then you just push this button, or at least I do. It gives you an accurate number and it locks it in place. I forgot to show you that part. So you pull it out and it's got this knob thing. You just slide it in because there's a hole. Whoop. There we go. There's a hole. You just slide it in there and that holds it in place. Then make sure it's not twisted. Press this button and it will gather around said body part so that you can get your measurement. So you can measure by yourself. So, you know, measuring here, measuring your waist, your hips, your foot, your wrist, your neck, you know, any other body part that you might want to measure alone without an audience. I don't remember what it is called. I'm going to say it's a measuring tape, but it's more than just a measuring tape. And I will try to find the information for you. This is a cool toy. The other items that I received actually came from Not Hetty. When I went to visit her in May, since she moved, you know, she's still trying to find her way around the area that she has moved to. It's a really big city, even though people from there don't think it's a big city. But compared to where she grew up, it's a big city. I'm going to say, I can safely say, comfortably, that it's at least twice the size of the Twin City area that she grew up in. Anyway, right around the corner from where she lives is a little thrift shop. She has gone there so often that, you know, they know her by name. It's a whole beautiful thing. She's finding her way. The thrift shop has like 5-cent days and 10-cent days for various items. She always goes through their magazines and books and, you know, like that area. She does junk journaling, and since I think they give away their old magazines, so she gets different magazines so that she can use that for her junk journaling. She also happened to find 3 items that fit into the knit crochet fiber family category. And she's like,
Pretty sure my mom would like this.
does she know me or what? In no particular order, this is from Leisure Arts. Let me see what year it is. 2012. It's this book. It calls for a nook. I have never nooked in my life.
Now you can knit with a crochet hook.
See, that's funny because that in my head is Tunisian. So I wonder. So just reading the instruction for this ribbed scarf, it looks like you could literally, now again, the finished size might be different, but it says that you could use a size 8 or 5mm knitting needles to cast on and then switch to number 4 needles. So, okay, cast on 41 or chain 41 or nook 41, not really knowing what a nook thing does, but then the first row, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 across, and then knit 1, purl 1, knit across. So it's worked the same as knitting, as in you do have to turn your work. But if I'm going to use a crochet hook to mimic the look of knitting, why wouldn't it just be Tunisian crochet? This is 2012, so it's not like Tunisian wasn't known about or heard of. Okay, this is a seed stitch scarf. Try saying that 3 times fast. Knit 1, purl 1 across. Repeat until the scarf is however long you want it to be. If I were to Tunisian knit and Tunisian purl, honestly, I don't think I've ever thought about what a Tunisian seed stitch, or even if there was such a thing. All of these instructions look like knitting instructions. I'm sitting here wondering if they had any projects in here other than scarves. Not my finest moment. This is interesting, and I think if I ever get a hankering for something other than a hunk of cheese, I might do one of these patterns. I like this mock cable scarf, so I might mock cable Tunisian scarf this. This one is from the year 1984. It's called Hats, Mittens, and Scarves to Crochet. So 80s. This hat reminds me of the beret. I know it's a beret. Okay. So this beret, though, for whatever reason, in this specific instance, I'm thinking of Ferris Bueller. Don't know why. Let's see what else is in here. Ooh.
Lady Mary.
This is my personal opinion, but some things just do not translate well in crochet unless you are, in fact, a crochet cowboy. And I can already hear, I haven't looked at the pattern, but I can hear Rose from Rose Likes to Crochet and her opinion of homespun by Lion Brand yarn. I'd have to research whatever this yarn is, because I'm sure I know it no longer exists, and find out if it is like the same as homespun. It's nubbly. It's nubbly. Earmuffs. The look on this woman's face tells me that Grandma made these for her for some occasion and wanted to have pictures to remember it by. But as soon as the photo shoot was over, she threw them into the lake.